Welcome, guys. Welcome. Hope you guys are having a great evening. We are actually very, very excited about the Reels. We're going to get it Reels with you for many reasons, and I'll go over that. But as you guys jump on, why don't you jump in the chat, say hello, let us know where you're tuning in from. And I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. As if you have questions, at the bottom of your screen, there is a Q&A box. And when I'm not speaking, I'll be checking it out. When Corinne's not speaking, she'll be checking it out. When we're both speaking, we won't be checking it out. So it's real simple. And so we appreciate you guys jumping in. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. And we had a bunch of people get the recordings. Obviously got a bunch of people here from our company. And so we want to make sure we deliver the goods. We do have a surprise for you, actually 2 surprises. We like surprises. As you're jumping on, I will tell you the first surprise is that we're going to break it into 2 sessions. And the reason why is there is a ton of information. Let me hold on. Somebody just told me the chats were disabled. So let me see if I can fix that. Let me see if I know how.
While he's doing that, not only is there a ton of information, but like it's just so good. Like, I'm not saying that because we're the ones leading it, but really, I just did a pun. Really, I wish that I had all of this information when I first learned Reels. I had to learn it like, I feel like I was like, I'm about to tell the story about when you had to walk, when I was a kid, I had to walk 2 miles through the snow. When I was a kid, when it came to Reels, it was figure it out or bust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Let me see who's in here. What's up, David? Hope you're doing well, Bob. Great to see you. Steve, Deborah, Amy, what's going on? Mick, Eric, I know there's more of you on here. There's lots of you on here. Say hello. Don't be shy. If you're going to be doing Reels, you got to at least be able to say hi in a private chat. So a couple things here I want to share with you guys. Number one is we're going to break it into 2 sessions. Tonight, what the agenda is really going to be designed for is to get you familiar with all the different type of Reels that you can do. We're going to show you how to search to get creative for different kind of Reels. We're going to talk about trending sounds. We're going to talk about seeing trends and different things like that. What's up, Joel, Paul, Ron? Good to see you guys. Joe, good to see you, buddy. Steve, Michael, what's up? Cynthia, Dan, what's going on? Love it. And so, and then we are going to give you a little bonus. We are going to give you a little bonus training as well on something called carousels, which is another strategy to get people to stop the scroll and engage on that as well, and how to repurpose things. And in addition to that, Corinne and I also got together today. We're going to give you all of our resources on how to do what we do, as far as coming up with captions, coming up with creative taglines to stop the scroll, websites to find trending hashtags, how to find trending sounds, all of the things. We will show you all the tricks that you probably look at, but you overlook because you're not paying attention to look for them, which is totally fine. We're going to show you how to, for those, and some of this you might know, but for those of you that don't, we're going to show you how to save different sounds. We'll teach you how to save different carousels. Some of you might not even know what a carousel is. You might think about when you're a kid at the carnival thinking of a carousel. That is not the kind of carousel we are talking about tonight. Although conceptually, it kind of is that in a way.
It kind of is to make you dizzy.
Yeah, those make you dizzy for sure. So we're going to go through all that, and we're very, very excited for all of this. Now, one thing I want you guys to understand, I say this all the time, don't get frustrated, get fascinated, take a deep breath. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. You're not going to be great today. You're not going to be great next week. But if you do 1 a day for 7 days, you're going to be better than you were on day 1. If you did it for 14 straight days, you're going to be way better than you were by day 7, which is better than you were day 1. And if you do it for 21 days, you are going to be a pro. I'm just telling you flat out. And what's up, John? Good to see you, Francoise. And so just know, guys, this is an exciting time. Now, I've had people tell me, well, I'm not a social media marketer. I don't need to do reels. And I appreciate that, but that's some bad thinking. And the reason why I say that is whether you're building offline your business, whatever that may be, or online. Let me explain something. I had a conversation with a colleague of mine today. He is on here. And I said, even if you're building your business belly to belly, you still want to do story posts. You still want to do static posts. You still want to do reels. And the reason why is if I meet you in a restaurant and I connect with you and I compliment you and I ask if you're open to taking a look and I say, hey, let's connect on IG, or let me put you in my Rapid Funnels app, and so I can send you some information. Don't you think that host or hostess or server, whoever, the person I met at pickleball or out at dinner or whatever it might be, a cocktail party, is going to go troll my social media and see the value, drop value, if you just caught that, that I deliver on a daily basis? Because I'm a complete stranger to them. So my social media is about know, like, and trust. How fast can somebody get to know, like, and trust me? And if I'm not doing the do on social media, it's not going to give the value. So even though you're building offline, I build offline too, by the way. I build online. I believe in high tech, high touch. I use tools so I can build offline. But let's be honest, our social media is our resume. Would you agree? Drop a 1 if you agree in the chat that your social media is your resume. And so it's very important to be present. Okay. And we're going to teach all the things today. We're going to have some fun, Lisa. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff for you with what we're doing. So if you're ready, say I'm ready. Corinne, you want to share the screen?
I'm ready. Yes. And I just want to add one thing to what you just said. The reality is, even if you are a belly to belly grower, or if you're a social media grower, the reality is you're going to come across somebody who's the alternative. Yeah. And so you want to at least have enough information to be able to kind of help them get going. So that's always been helpful for me as well. So let me get my screen shared here.
And one last thing, I had a thought too. Oh, the one thing I want to point out about offline or online that's very important that just came to me is that, let's say you're not a social media builder, but if you're traveling, like there's a guy in my company that travels more than he actually works, if I'm being very transparent with you. He's always traveling, all right? And if he would create reels of his travels and stories of all his travels, let me ask you a question. Drop it in the chat. I'll pull the chat up so I can see it. If you were curious, somebody's traveling all the time. They got awesome reels from their vacations. They're posting stories. They're living the life that God intended them to live. And you're just like, what does this individual do? I know I do, and I do this already. But wouldn't you reach out to that person and say, so-and-so, I see you traveling. I see your reels. I see your stories. What do you do that allows you to live the life that you live? Isn't that pretty interesting? So even if you're not an online builder, by you showcasing your lifestyle, that is called attraction marketing. All right. So I want you guys to understand that. So I know we're going to go over stuff. We're going to play back and forth on each other, and let's have some fun.
Yes, I love it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Reels Mastery. Like DJ said, we're excited to actually spread this out over 2 weeks. So if you saw your email from last night, great. If you didn't, I'm just going to update you. So tonight is kind of going to be like drinking from a fire hose. Okay. Tonight, we're going to share with you all about the reels, what types of reels. We're going to share why you use reels. And we're going to share some resources with you. Next week, a week from today, we're actually going to almost kind of like workshop, and we're going to give you a step-by-step tutorial, but also giving you the action steps you need, but also give you like a sample reels schedule. Okay. And really put you into action. So this week is just like, let your brain explode with all of the amazingness that is reels. Accept the fact that you're not going to remember it all, and that's why we have the recordings. But the next week we're going to actually put it into practice. So we're excited about that. So you may be wondering, like, why is there a separate workshop just about reels? Like, why are they so impactful? And I actually did a little bit of research on this. And I'm sure DJ will have, things to add as well. But one of the reasons is that Reels use music and audio, and music especially, and then obviously the right audio with the right inflections. They capture attention and they evoke emotion. The emotion is really the key here. I mean,
Hey, Corinne, somebody's telling me real quick, there's no screen. Can you guys do me a favor? If you can see this, drop a 1. If you can see Corinne's slides, drop a 1. Drop a 1. Okay, so if you can't see it, that's on your end. All right, continue on.
If you can't see it, you may be on a cell phone. And if you're on a cell phone, you have to swipe probably to the left. If you
Left
swipe
or
to the
right?
left,
Yeah.
yeah, then swipe the other way. But you got to swipe and then you'll see all the screen. So that may be one of the issues.
And then turn your phone left to right. You'll see it a lot better as well.
All of the things. So what I was saying was music. I mean, I want you guys to think of a song. If you have a song that you hear, you can remember where you can remember certain. I remember songs when I was a teenager. I'll hear them now and I feel as if I was in that moment. I feel like if I'm a teenager again. And this is so powerful. I actually was sitting with my uncle who just recently passed away, and he wanted to listen to music, and he just kind of went off into a dreamland. And it was like you could see in his face that he was in the moment of 50, 60 years earlier. It was the most beautiful thing. And that's what Reels really allow us to do, is to strike and really evoke emotion in people. Anything you'd add to that, DJ?
Well, just so you guys know that, I want you to think about fishing for a minute. Reels will literally go viral. And I can literally show you some that did not. I've had only 1 to 5 views on a reel, 20 views on a reel, but then I've had millions of views on one reel. And I'll scroll and show you guys some of that today. So you got to play around with it. But I want you to understand, if you have the first thing, I'm going to throw some things in, but on all your profiles, I want you to make sure all of your profiles are open, public. Everybody can see the reels. Everybody can see your static posts. Everybody can see your stories. That's first. Put that in chat. Make my social media public and open on everything I ever do. Because reels with the right hashtags will get new followers. And if you intrigue them, it's going to stop the scroll and you're going to get new followers. So when you start talking about your product, service, or opportunity, now you've got new eyeballs on your stuff. So think of reels bringing new people in. And then your posts, keep them on your page, keep them entertained, educating, empowering, all the stuff.
I love it. And the cool thing about the audio, just to kind of close this out, is that there's such a thing as trending audio. Now, we'll show you next week how you know which audios are trending or not. But there's trending audio, which means that you will have the ability to have your reel more than likely go viral, or has more of a chance to go viral when you use a trending audio. Another cool side note about reels is that when it comes to trending audios, an audio will trend on TikTok first before it trends on Instagram. Okay, take that note down. We won't be really covering that until next week, but they will trend on TikTok first before they trend on Instagram. So if you see an audio trending on TikTok, you want to hurry up and make that audio on Instagram, because you'll be one of the first to actually get caught in that once it does become a trending sound. Okay, let's move on. So reels are also quick, and with captions, they're designed to, like what DJ said, reel people in, right? No pun intended. And so the cool thing is you want to keep your reels quick. You want to keep them not too long. But you also want to make sure you have a really good caption, because what will happen is people will be reading your caption, not realizing that they've just allowed your reel to play 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 times over, which tells the algorithm, without the individual knowing, that your reel is hot stuff. People are just like watching it over and over and over. So you really want to tap into that. DJ, what would you add about captions and the power of those?
Yeah, so the caption should be the hook. How many of you guys always see commercials or promos of movies and different television shows that stop you from scrolling on your television or Netflix? So just one of the things that I learned actually from a mentor is, how many of you guys have been in a grocery store line or some type of checkout line? They've got the magazines on there, and they have a bunch of hooks on the front cover of the magazine. And those magazines you don't read the magazine while you're in line. You watch the hooks And if you see a hook, that gets you to buy the magazine. So one of the things that I started really paying attention to are those magazines while I'm waiting in line at the grocery store or some checkout that have them. And I start getting ideas of different hooks or one-liners that would stop the scroll for my social media.
Yep. I love it. Okay. And then last but not least, and I'm sure there's more than this, but we can't go through all of them in one night. Reels promote engagement and they offer an extreme algorithm boost. So here's the really cool thing about Reels. They're more shared than anything else on social. I personally share Reels to my stories almost every single day. And the cool part is that if you have the appropriate settings, which again, part of next week's session, you can actually set it so that Instagram will do the work for you, and Instagram will actually promote your reel on Facebook. Okay. So you don't even have to post it on Facebook. They'll promote it on Facebook for you if you have that setting connected there. You also can make it to where your stories, your reels, your posts can also post to Facebook if you so choose. I personally don't do my posts and my reels to automatically share because there's an engagement process that kind of needs to happen there. And I'm sure DJ can touch on that some too on another training. But the reels, I'm sorry, the stories I actually have share over there so that I don't have to post them twice. So engagement is key, and getting those reels shared is a powerful tool. Anything you'd add to that about engagement and the power of that?
No, just the biggest thing is remember, anytime you're doing a post on all channels, just remember you got to pre-engage for 5 or 10 minutes and post-engage. The more you engage ahead and after you do a post, the more social media is going to share it. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. Doing your follow-ups on your DMOs, doing prospectings, even communicating in the DMs is pre and post engaging, engaging on people's stories. The more you give, the more you're going to receive. Just kind of remember that. Okay.
Yeah, very true. That's why I only do my stories personally, but it's a cool feature. Okay. So we're going to dig in. Now, DJ, do you want to dig in right now to the different types of reels, or do you want to dig into the apps that we utilize to make our reels magical?
Let's first start with the apps, and then we can end with them doing, I'll just kind of share. And then let's do the apps and then the posting schedule. Then I'll go show how we find what we find. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan. Let me get that page up here. Now, the cool part, guys, just so you know, is I'm going to show you right now just the websites that kind of showcase the logo, that tell you a little bit about them. I'm also going to share with you after the fact via email a link to a document that's going to have these websites there for you. So you don't have to go Google them. They are Googleable, as DJ says, but we don't need to use the Google. We're going to give you the doc. And but right now we just kind of want to show you them and talk to you a little bit about them. So
yeah, and maybe we can do a demo on some of them if they make sense to do so.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys, if you're able to, just real quick want to say, I love the questions I'm seeing in the chat. If you don't mind, if you know how to use the Q&A for those questions, that would be amazing, because then we can just look through the questions themselves rather than having to kind of search through that chat to make sure your questions get answered. Okay. So please throw those over into the Q&A because they are great questions. Okay. So first, this is a favorite of both DJ and myself, the Repost app. You actually are able to take either yours or other people's reels, content, posts, all of the things, and you can pop it in here and utilize it in powerful ways. DJ, can you share a little bit about how you use these? Because what he does is pretty major.
So the way that I use the Repost app, I use it on my phone. I know there's a desktop version as well, but what I will go do is search a hashtag that I'm looking for, whether it's travel, motivation, entrepreneurship, recognition, lifestyle, social media marketing, branding, because I have a posting schedule, which we're going to cover here in a minute, and I'll go find reels that I like. And then there's a way where you can copy the link and paste it into here. And then I'll save it to my phone, my photo reel. And when you copy and paste it and save it into your photo reel, it also copy and pastes the description. So one disclosure that you must know, it's one of those unspoken, respectful moves on social media is if you repost somebody else's content, you always leave them tagged in it and shout them out and recognize them. And there's two benefits. One, you're not going to get, if somebody sees you reposting their video, they can, report you. But if you tag them in it and they like it, they're going to reach out and thank you, which is a conversation starter. But if they reshare it to their followers, now their followers are going to see your name, and then it's another marketing ploy for them to come start following you as well.
Yes, I love that. Very, very cool. And when you continue this over time, the more popular that somebody is that you're reposting from, the more likely you're going to actually get people who follow them to find your post, and they're going to start following you, and again, boosting up that algorithm. Okay, so the next one that DJ uses a lot and that's super fun is the Caption app. Now, for this one, there's not really a ton of info here, but I wanted you guys to see the logo itself and kind of just show you some of the things that it's capable of doing. The cool part about this is that it's AI powered. So that means you basically upload your video and it does the captions for you.
Yeah, so it'll create your captions based upon your video. It'll give you the body and it'll give you suggested hashtags. And all you have to do is copy and paste. And you can put the caption actually on your video, which is great. One of the benefits that I always suggest too is the caption, the stop the scroll, there's ways to where you can have it set up where it's only on your video for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 30 seconds, the whole video. I was taught during this process to keep it on the entire video because that's the main caption. That's the hook. And some people may not, if they're scrolling and all of a sudden somebody walks in their office, they go away and all of a sudden the tagline's away, then they're going to pass through your reel, where if you keep the caption on the entirety of the video, that's a better way to do it than just having it on for a short period of time.
For sure. And I'll be honest with y'all, I have like some pretty severe ADHD, and the captions, they capture my attention, like, because they have them programmed to where like there's colors behind certain words and not behind others. And so they really do make a difference in keeping people's attention, and they are safe for work. So when people are sneaking social media at work, they can still see your reel. If not, they might just scroll on by.
Yeah, that's powerful, because if a lot of people are on their phone at work and they can't have the sound on. And so if you have the captions on and the subtitles are going across the screen, they're reading it. And by the way, when they're reading it, it's getting more embedded in their brain anyways.
Yeah. And if you have a potty mouth, like some of my friends, then they can watch it around their kids too. I often have to turn the volume down when I watch certain people. Okay,
I have heard that sometimes when I do videos that people see me and they automatically put it on mute for quality control purposes.
This is true. Sometimes I answer the phone and say, you're on speakerphone. So, okay. Now the next two sites I'm going to show you do the same exact thing. So you can use one or the other. There's not really a rhyme or a reason. But I will say that in the document that you're going to get, I'm going to put a couple of options for these ones, because there are some that are specific to certain platforms. So for instance, this is an Instagram downloader. This will not work with your Facebook content. You would need to use a different one for your Facebook content. But this platform has all the different, this type of website has the different platforms available to you. So just know, if you're a Facebooker, not an Instagrammer, then there's still options for you. But what you see here, this one is called snapinsta.app. It's not actually an app. I think there might be an app, but it's not actually an app. It's really a website. It's just the .app is really like the .com. That's just what they used. So basically what I do for here, and again, we'll show you the how next week, is that when I create a reel, I create my reels predominantly in two spots, either in Instagram, or there's an app that you'll see here in a minute that I use that's totally off Instagram. I actually like to create my apps, my reels in Instagram. And then there's a spot you can go to where you can actually get a link. Every single reel has a link, like a website link attached to it. And you'll go ahead and you'll copy that link and you'll bring it here to this website, and it will scrub the Instagram watermark off of it. So all the words that you put in will be there. The video will stay the same. There are very few occasions in which the audio won't transfer. It's usually like a glitch, though. There's not really like only audio, certain audios transfer. It's just a glitch. And it will take it to where now it's just a video in your camera roll. You can send it to people. You can post it on other platforms, because especially like TikTok does not like, and somehow they have bots that figure this out, does not like for the Instagram logo watermark to be on the things that you post into TikTok, and vice versa. Instagram doesn't like the TikTok watermark being placed there either. The other cool thing is that, this is something really I would recommend for those who are belly to belly, right? And this is why it's powerful that you know how to make reels, even if you're not really active on social media. That's because you can actually create a reel of your recent trip, make it look amazing, make it look super quality, come here, scrub off the Instagram logo, and share it with people that you meet out and about. Be like, yeah, check out this trip I just took. Check out this party I just went to. So this is really, honestly, Reels can be a powerful video editing tool, even if you're not super active on social. What would you add about this offering?
So three things. One, you can create a reel on TikTok. You can create a reel on Instagram. You can even do it on Facebook. However, you can also just create, there's different ways to do reels, because like on Instagram or TikTok, you can do them almost like scenes in a movie, right? Where you can stop and do things and do all the cool bells and whistles. I mean, that could be an hour training alone, right? How to do in-depth reels. And I've got some access to some trainings I'll give you guys for some bonus trainings on that stuff. We won't do that, but I do have some recordings I can give you guys from being a part of the Higdon group. I've got access to a whole Reels training I can give you guys. But with that being said, is that I do a lot of my 1-minute videos just on my phone, and then I put the captions on there. But if you see people doing different scenes and skits and all the fancy stuff, that is on TikTok or Instagram. If you just see one long video going, that's on your video. Now, what you can do also is you can do scenes just in your camera roll, where I could do one scene, maybe 10, 15 seconds long, stop that video, do another scene with another video, and then you can actually put them together, because there's a feature where you can put videos and pictures together in a reel and combine it. So 99% of the time, I just use my camera to do all my reels, because it's easier for me to do, because I use my phone more often than all the features and bells and whistles on TikTok and Instagram. And yes, you can create captions on TikTok without the captions app. You can create captions on Instagram. You can even create captions in your stories. If you go look at my story from tonight, I did a 60-second video leaving the gym, and I just clicked captions, and it did what it did, and I shrunk them down to fit, and I put it in my stories. So just know there's a lot of different ways to do these. We're just kind of a buffet and giving you options.
Right. And this is a great tool too. If you have a reel that you really like that you want to highlight, but you want to splice. I know this is getting a little advanced, but like I said, you're going to drink from a fire hose tonight. You can actually use this to scrub somebody else's reel and then splice it together with a video that you make, right? Because you're going to be downloading it as like a video to your phone. So there's a lot of really great uses here. The other thing I like specifically about this site, then what I'm going to show you next is really more for TikTok, is that here you'll notice up top, you can either do video, photo, story, reel, or IGTV. So for instance, DJ likes to post stories that are videos of us like doing coaching sessions together or something like that. And I don't really know he's taken a picture or video of me until I find it on his stories. But I'll grab it from there. So I'll go and I'll get the link for his stories. Okay. And I'll bring it into here and I'll scrub it, and then I'll put it into my own stories. So this is a way for you to actually utilize a lot of different resources. The next screen, like I said, same thing. It just does it for TikTok. So if you're somebody who likes to create them in TikTok, and or if you find a video you like in TikTok that you want to bring over to Instagram, that you're going to do here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Just don't get overwhelmed, guys. We're just showing you all these tools. We're going to put them on a document, get them all over to you, hyperlinks. You can save them in your files, your favorites. We're just showing you a buffet of all the tools. And you might only use one or two of them. You might use all of them. It's up to you. But these are what the pros use. And so we wanted you guys to level up your game on social media.
Yes. And this is called Reels Mastery. And if you get overwhelmed, that's kind of on you because we told you you're going to drink from a fire hose tonight. We warned you.
Hey, real quick, Corinne, I know there's somebody asking about, do these apps work on iPhone and Android, one or the other? How would you answer that?
So a majority of them will work on both. Some know that iPhones are just way better than Androids. And so they only, no, I'm just sorry. I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. But no, some of them are only iPhone, but a lot of them have kind of come around to do Android as well.
Yeah, we're not saying the people behind Android. We love you. Just the functionality on certain things. Like right now, your camera's on Android, and your typing and spelling is way better than iPhone for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So and we're not saying that
some of these apps, then those are better. So there's pros and cons on both. We joke around. They're both good, great phones, but some apps are just have different functionality on one versus the other. But I will tell you that my wife does debate that her phone spells way better than mine and her camera is way better than mine, and she's got an Android. So
there you go. Okay, so this is called Headline Generator. It helps you create really great headlines. I'm going to let DJ kind of take it away on this one as I kind of scroll down the page a little bit and just show you all some of the features.
Yeah, so why don't you guys put in the chat a topic that you would consider doing a reel on? Why don't you put a topic in? We're going to show you. Well, I'll pick 2 or 3 topics. Pick a topic that you would want to do a reel on, and we'll show you how this thing works. Put it in the chat. The first 3 that go in the chat are the ones we're going to use. Travel, insurance, self-care. All right. So go ahead and type the first one in, which is travel. And now, just so you know, it could be more than one word. It could be a phrase like travel hacks, travel tips, different things like that. But your main keyword is travel. So that's what you said. So that's what we're going to create. And below here, it'll take about 30 seconds or so, but it's going to create, I think, 3 to 5 pages of different headlines that will stop the scroll. We'll do it for the other ones as well. Sometimes there's pop-ups, just ignore those.
Okay.
If you can get rid of them. This is these free sites, they just, they sell you things. So don't get frustrated. What do? Get fascinated.
There we go.
All right. So now scroll down.
I'm working on it.
Keep going. There you go. So that was travel. There's 3 pages. Look at that. 52. Oops. Get rid of the ads.
The pop-ups.
Part of the process. Got to deal with it. We're taking the first 3, but go ahead there. Oh my God, the best travel ever. How I improve my travel in one easy lesson. Beware the travel scams. Little known ways to rid yourself of travel. Why travel succeeds. 10 things you have in common with travel. How many of you like some of these? And these are just memory joggers to get your brain thinking. All right. And there's 3 pages of these. 9 ridiculous. I just saw something. There's tons of them. There's hundreds of things you can pick from to get ideas. Then here's the cool part. Let's say number 76, it says top 10 tips to grow your travel. I would go type that, copy and paste that, and put it in the chat GPT or Google. And guess what it's going to do? It's going to give you 10 tips to grow your travel. And then guess what? You can give the first 3 tips and have them email or send you a text for the other 7.
Yes.
Yeah, number 81 is a great one. So now let's go to the other one. I think it was travel. I think I saw, or insurance. Let's do insurance.
And while we're kind of scrolling back up, just know that if it's top 10 tips to grow your travel, right? You probably only really want to cover about 3, maybe 4 in the actual video itself. And then the prompt is going to be to tell them to check that caption for the rest of the tips. Okay.
Yep. And a lot of times what I'll do, this is more of an advance, but I'll take, like if I go type number 1 and 15 unheard, what is it, or whatever it was, but I'll go put that in chat GPT and get 15 and go through 2 or 3 or 4, but then I'll save it as a Google Doc, and then I'll save it under I have a CTA tab called action. And so at the end of my video, I'll say for the rest of the tips, send me a DM that says tips or based up whatever that tagline is. Then they're in my DMs, which is a conversation starter. And I can say, hey, thanks for requesting the tips. I'm away from my desk right now, and I'll move away from my desk. And I'm away from my desk right now, but as soon as I get back, I'll send them to you. Just out of curiosity, how often do you travel? And then I put them on my pre-follow-up list, and I'm starting a conversation. I'm not just going to give them the information right away. I'm going to create a conversation. And then when I get back to my desk, I'll say, hey, here's the tips. Do me a favor when you're done going through them. I'd love to hear your top 5 takeaways. What resonated with you? Being a human, professional conversation starter, right? All the things. And so I save all those. Here's insurance. 5 simple steps to an effective insurance strategy. 10 ways to immediately start selling insurance. 5 easy ways you can turn insurance into success. I mean, think about it. 5 sexy ways to improve your insurance. Why most insurance fails. That would stop the scroll. How many of you like number 12, right? So literally you can then take this stuff, just copy and paste it, put it in Chat GPT. It'll give you the answers, and then you can formulate a reel. Drop a 1 if you're having an aha moment. All right. Let's do self-care. Somebody asked for that was the 3rd one in line, and we'll give you 1 more to give you an idea.
1 more. And as we're searching this up, I want to tell you guys something. This right here literally takes away any excuse you have to overthink this stuff. Okay, y'all? It's literally written right here for you.
So, hey, I'm going to pull a curveball on Corinne while she's doing this. Do me a favor if you can, after we do this, pull up Chat GPT.
Perfect.
And let's pick one of these headlines and put it in there. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. But we'll go back to it before we do, because that way you can actually see what we're talking about. All right. So once she logs in, we'll go back to the headline part of this. We'll find a headline that makes sense. We'll throw it in Chat GPT, and then literally you can create a reel. There's endless of ideas around any industry, any profession around the world to create reels. And then after this, we'll show them the last minute ones, and then let's go to scheduling. And then assuming we have time, which we should, we'll kind of give you an idea on how we find them, reels, and save them. And we'll go over the types of reels as well. All right. So let's find one. All right. How about number 3? Let's avoid the top 10 self-care mistakes. So what I would do at the beginning, I would put how to avoid, or top self-care mistakes. Like, you got to ask Chat GTP a question. She's going to show you how this works. And she will, she's telling it what to do, right? Tell me the top 10 self-care mistakes. She's waiting on Chat GPT. Oh my gosh, look at that. So look how fast this is. And by the way, every time you ask it to do something, treat it like a person and say thank you. Little side note, watch what they say back. There's a whole training on how to program Chat GPT to be your personal assistant. Think, talk, walk, act like you. Okay. And then you can even ask it, rewrite in my tone if you've programmed it. That's a whole nother training. But these are all topics. How many of you are getting some value out of this right now? Think about this.
I want to go through these with you guys, because what I did here is I did 2 things. First, I started by telling it to tell me the top 10 self-care mistakes. It is telling me the top 10 things that people do, or the mistakes they make when it comes to self-care. But then I said, thank you, right? And said, how do I avoid these? So now it gave me even more content. So what's really cool about this is you could actually make multiple posts and multiple reels out of this. You could even tell people, hey, these are the top 10 self-care mistakes people make. Check back tomorrow for how to avoid them. So you've got more content here than you even know what to do with.
And then real quick, Corinne, show them how to, when you're done, but show them how to save this and put it in a Google Doc and save it as have a file with call to actions, because if you have people reach out for the remaining 7 or 8 or 9 and you don't have them, shame on you. So I have a whole folder on my toolbar. I don't know what you call it up there, the scroll bar. And you can literally save these all into a Word doc and just have them and give them away as it's basically you're creating a free lead magnets is what you're doing, where you're doing call to actions. But at the bottom of each chat BT, there's a square and right down there, and you just click that clipboard square under
Up
the
here.
bottom
That
left.
one's to send the message. This one up here on the upper right.
Is it up on the right? Click that once for once. See what happens just next to the thumb.
Oh, sorry.
Down at the bottom left.
Oh, this
right
one?
there.
Okay.
Yeah, copy. You can copy it right there. So
Sorry.
now it's copied to her clipboard. She can bring it over to a Word doc or a Google Doc and save it. So when people ask for the rest, you can send it to them. Drop a 2 if that made sense. It's powerful stuff. All right. So go ahead.
Here's a plug real quick. So another thing that you can do with this, not to do with Reels, but does to do with one of the bonus tips that we may get in tonight. I don't know. We're just talking away. Is you can also take these, right? And you can make these into graphics in Canva, which we're going to be doing a Canva training to be scheduled. And you can create carousel images. And I'm actually going to show you in the advanced Canva training how to take this and import it and have Canva automatically create the images for you.
Good.
Okay. So it's really cool. Another thing that I do personally, so DJ uses this clipboard. I use this arrow up in the upper right-hand corner. So you decide, like, let's say, for instance, you've got this, you're not necessarily ready to like use it. You just want to save it. I actually like to come here to this arrow, click it, and then I get a link. I actually take that link and I've got a series of different links that I have posted into different notes. So I just have it all there, like all my favorite ChatGPT searches, and I can click on the link and it saves exactly what it is here. So that's another option if you so choose.
And if you got questions, go to the Q&A section of the bottom and we'll get them all answered here at the end. I know there's questions coming in, so just put them not in the chat. There's actually a Q&A at the very bottom, and I know there's about 7 of them in there right now. We'll answer them all at the end. Let's keep going through the quick other tools, and then we will go into a posting schedule. We'll go over the types of reels, and then we'll show you a couple. We got about 15 minutes. So,
okay, awesome. So I will be honest with you guys. This specific app is only available on the iPhone. There are comparable apps available on the Android, but if you have an iPhone, and I'll actually do this, I will go search to see which one that is similar I would recommend for Android, because I love you guys, even if you make questionable choices. But in Stories, if it is a paid app, there are some free that you can do, but the ones I like to use are paid. But you can use some of it free, just so you know. There is some of it that's free. This creates, basically, it makes it look like you're a professional videographer. Okay, it looks like you are a social media manager who literally gets paid to create social media content. As you guys can see here, I'll kind of scroll through some of this. It puts text. You would not be able to get this kind of text on Instagram or any of the other platforms. It can transform things with filters. You can put templates on there. You can erase backgrounds. You can cut out pieces. Like, there's so much you can do. And I'm actually going to real quick refresh my screen because I want you guys to see here.
and remember, don't get frustrated, get fascinated, right? Like, this can be overwhelming. Do 1 reel a day for 21 days and then just keep going. You don't have to know all the bells and whistles and all the tricks. I don't even have this app that she's talking about, just to give you an idea. It doesn't decredit it. It's just, it's overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff here, right? You're going to find 1, 2, or 3 apps and tools to build your vision. These are just a buffet to give you guys an idea.
Yeah. And as you guys can see, let me refresh it one more time. As you guys can see on this first image, you get a little glimpse of some of the stuff that it does. So you see all of the different things moving around the screen. On Instagram, you actually have to kind of like program that. On In Stories, it's already programmed for you, and you literally all you have to do is insert the photos you want to use and change the text to say what you want to say. You don't have to do any of the programming. So it looks like it's super complicated because of what it can do, but you're actually really just changing out text and changing out photos, and it makes you look like a freaking pro. So I love
What's
this.
this one called again?
This is In Stories. Just so you know, if DJ starts having reels that look really, I keep making that pun. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. That look really amazing. He has me to thank. So
Yeah, that's right. That's
there
right.
you
That's
go.
right. I'm downloading it right now. Downloading it
There
right.
you go. There you
All right.
go. Okay, the next one is also one that I utilize that I don't think that DJ has yet, but it's called the Stand Store. So Stand Store is basically somewhere now people do utilize this for products that they sell, but you can actually put products on here for free. And what I really like about it is that there is a free option. There is a like paid option, where I think is like right around like $20 a month, $27 a month. And there's like a pro option for like $90 a month. You don't need the pro. You might want the down, the lower level, but honestly, you can get by with the free. But what this does is it lets you create lead generation tools, freebies that you can post in your bio on Instagram. Okay. And I want you guys to look over here to the right of the screen. You'll notice where it says My Creator Course. Okay. You'll notice they have it for sale for $129. Right next to it, crossed out and grayed out, is $240 or $249, something like that. Okay. It tells you you get it for 50% off. And there's a star rating. There's all these kind of things. Well, what's cool about this is you can do the same thing, but for free products. So for instance, you can say, for those who might be in travel, my ebook, which again, you can actually create in Canva, show you guys how to do that, or my guide, my top 10 travel tips guide. And then on your reels, in your posts, you can tell them to actually download your free top 10 travel tips guide. They're going to come here to your store, okay? And they're going to see here that it's normally worth $49, but you're giving it away for $0, okay? But then what's going to happen though is they're going to actually go purchase it, even though it's for free, and you're going to capture their information. This is a total stranger, mind you, on Instagram or Facebook or wherever it is that you're finding them. You now have their email address, their name. They have told you they are interested in what it is that you have to offer. So now you've got, that contact and that lead simply by having this store. So you'll see a lot of stuff on here that's like where people utilize this to sell digital products and all that kind of stuff. But I like to actually use it as well as a free lead gen tool to get people to download your goods. So anything you'd add about that and just the power of a free lead gen offering, DJ?
No, I mean, if you look at all the big marketers, digital marketers, they're always giving away a freebie to capture people's information. Remember, we don't own Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, social, LinkedIn, all these channels. So I do everything in my power to create content, to create a connection, so I can have a conversation. But my goal is to get their give some free stuff away, so that way I can get their email or their phone number, and I can get them in my database. Data is king, right? So you just got to understand that kind of stuff. And yes. I'm just here, and if you guys go to the Q&A, you'll see I'm answering questions. You can see open, answered, dismissed. So you guys can see some of that kind of stuff as we do this as well.
Love it, love it. Okay, headline analyzer. Take this away, DJ.
So with this software, you can put a headline in that you might think is great, and then it's going to analyze it to tell you how great it really is of an idea. And so just put something random in there, and then people can see it. I know we're going a little bit longer on time, guys. There's so much information we can give you. That's why we had to break it into 2 sessions for you.
So it kind of tells you, I put why millennials are traveling abroad. And it tells you here that your headline has a total of about 20% of emotional marketing value. Your headline score is based on a scale of 0 to 100. So obviously that was probably not the most powerful headline, right? So this is going to tell you, is it worth making this? Is it really even worth me investing my time in making this? So for comparison, most professional copywriters headlines will typically have about 30 to 40% of EMV. So not a total fail, but still not in the pro range, if that makes sense. So we want to kind of shoot for that pro range. Okay, last but not least, we have Pixabay. So here's the thing. On the internets, There's a lot of shared content. Okay. There's a lot of images and videos and things that got shared. The truth of the matter is, though, that there are some of these images and videos that are captured by professionals, and those professionals do not like their content being used. Sometimes in general, sometimes artists can be a little stingy. They don't want their content used at all unless it's by them or somebody who paid them. Sometimes people are fine if you just give them credit. They don't mind as long as you give them credit. You're not claiming that it's yours. But there are times where we need images and we need, videos and music that we don't have to pay for, but that, we can utilize as much as we want. And so we need to look for what are called royalty free. Royalty free means that they do not have to be paid for, that you have access to use them. So Pixabay is a great option where to find those rather than like Google Images. Google Images is good for some things. I like to use Google Images like for quotes, and those kinds of things. But if you're putting something out where you're actually going to be earning an income on that's another thing that artists really don't like, is you making an income off of their hard work without giving them appropriate credit. So anything you'd add to this for Pixabay, DJ?
I do not. You're rocking.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to stop this screen share. And now, do we want to dig into, I know we were going to talk about a posting schedule next week, for sure, give them something to focus on, but we can do it this week too. Or would you want to kind of start by focusing on the different types of reels, since we're kind of...
So why don't I share my screen? If you can answer Tanya's question there. I'm going to go share my screen, guys, and I'm going to just go to Instagram, and I'll show you a couple of things that I've done. But next week, we're going to show you trending sounds, how to identify them. I'll show you how to edit if you're doing reposting of other people's posts, how you give them 100% of the credit. But I also do some editing to make sure that they stay on my page for the most part. I know that sounds contradicting, but there's a way, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that on an example. All right, but let me go share my screen real quick. And then, what we'll do is the call to action or homework should be probably is what you want to identify what your posting schedule will look like for when we go do this next week, because there's, I'll kind of walk you through this. Let me go share my screen. Hold on. Drop it. You guys getting some value out of this? How many of you feel free to leave your thoughts? How many of you getting overwhelmed with opportunity? Do you guys, how many, is this a refresher? Is this something you heard for the first time? Put it in the chat, let us know. Just curious more so than anything. Brand new refresher. What do we got?
I love it. I'm interested to see if they just decide not to come back next week because we kind of blew their mind a little bit too much.
Couple for the first times. Cool.
Totally fascinated. I love it.
Refresher. All right.
My friend Paul.
All right. So there's something called duets, and I'm going to show you my page, and I'm going to show you something that's I got to see if I can find it, but I did some split testing over the last 90 days intentionally to show you things that actually work. Okay. So when I go to Instagram, first and foremost, by the way, somebody asked me what stories are. The stories are those bubbles at the top. All right. Reels are down. If you click the bottom black bar second to the right, you'll see like an action and take, what do you call those things in a movie that start the scene? It's to the right of the plus sign. These are all reels. Okay. And you can just hit that thing and you'll see a bunch of people's reels. All right. You can get caught in the scroll hole. But what I want to show you is I'm going to go to my reels for a minute. Whoops. Just to give you guys an idea. All right. So the one on the first top left is actually one that I personally did. This was me doing a training, and I took 60 seconds or whatever it was, 35 seconds of me hitting a point. And then I created this reel. All right. The second one in was a repost. This is where I took somebody else's reel and reposted it with their caption at the very bottom, but I add mine at the top. Let me show you what I mean by that. So if you look at this for a minute, So if you look where it says, if you can love yourself, or if you can't love yourself, it's hard to love others. I should have said can't. Be proud of you and your journey that you're on. Now, this was originally from Motivatrix, and everything below that was his. And obviously, I had some spelling errors there, whatever. Most people don't read all that stuff. All right. So just know that was a repost. All right. Now, if you ever do have a spelling error, because I just noticed it, you can actually go in and edit it. Okay. By hitting the three dots, you can also go edit things. Okay. Now, that is a remix of somebody else's, but if you notice, I left their name on there, so I didn't make it look like mine, but I always add a paragraph or a sentence at the top, which pushes their stuff down, because most people don't read a whole post anyways. They'll see my information, but I'm giving them the credit. All right. This was obviously me. This was one that I personally did when I was on stage at the Higdon group. Jessica Higdon filmed this when she was in the back watching me, and she sent it to me. This was something that I put together. Okay. Now, this was a repost, and this was on last Friday from Gary Brecka, right? The guy, the 10X, the guy that's getting really big with nutrition, because Fridays I do fitness and finance. And so I reposted this, but if you look, I did the top part all the way until, right where it says Gary Brecka. Then he was down there where he says, I'm helping thousands break the chains of freedom. That was all him below that. And I left his content in there. All right. Now, if they're doing a promo or a giveaway or telling you to go somewhere, I take out that sentence and manipulate it a little bit. All right. And then I adjust it. And how I do that, truthfully, is I go to my notes. Check this out. Okay. I go to my notes, and let's see if I got one that I can show you. So, and once I'm done with them, I delete them. So I may have already deleted them. So this was one that I did on Bora Bora. So I put the first part in, and then I clean things up. I still have all their stuff info. Then I'll copy and paste it, and I'll show you how that one actually got a little leg room. This one here, if you notice, is a bunch of videos and stuff together. I copied this one. This was a repost. Now, let me kind of show you something. This was how many of you heard Corinne talk about a carousel? The one on the top row on the right where it says 131 phrases to keep people reading. This was a repost. This is a carousel. When you have more than one post, it gives you some information. It gives you some of the hooks. Now, I manipulated this one. I'm going to show you how. Above the dots was all me. Now, I didn't come up with this content. This person did. Okay. But when I go to their page, this was their post. So what I did is I edited the bottom quarter of an inch, take her picture off, and then normally I took her below, comment hook below for my 131 hooks. I took that out because I didn't want my audience going to her page. Does that make sense? But here's the but. I gave her credit anyways, because not everybody's going to go scroll through the bottom. All right. Let me show you what a duet looks like real quick. Okay. So I stopped doing these for literally around a month, and I'm going to show you guys something here. Okay. This was one duet where you're basically listening to somebody else like a Mark Cuban, and all you're doing is smiling and nodding. I put the tip of the day, and you can literally, basically, you're leveraging his credibility. But I want to show you guys something. I did 3 or 4 of these in a row in 1 week. Okay. Like this one went 16,000 views, but and I got 276 likes. Those 276 likes are leads, by the way. 29 people shared this. Okay. Now, so when you see me doing it with somebody else, like this one here, I was just watching it. Okay. And sometimes they're going to take off, sometimes they're not. But here's what I can tell you. Like this one went viral, 34,000 views. 745 likes, 51 shares. Those are all duets. Those are leads. We'll show you how to do that. Okay. Now here's another one, 46,000, and it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. I could literally do the same duet on Instagram, on TikTok, and one could be a dud, one could be a stud. You just never know. I did a post years ago, okay? And it went to over 1 million views. I don't want to scroll for years, but I just want you to understand, when I did a study, when I for 2 weeks straight, I did a study on duets, okay? And I did one every single day, and my views went from 6,000 views to over 88,000 views in literally less than 30 days. All right, let me see if I can find something here for you.
And while he's looking, I want to give you guys a pro tip. So this was a great question that somebody asked. They asked the difference between an @ or a hashtag. What should they be using as they're really highlighting people and utilizing what DJ's sharing here? They both have different really perks to them. So the @ sign is what you actually want to use to tag them. That's how they're going to get a notification that you highlighted them. The hashtag is going to be powerful to actually capture the attention of their followers or their fans or the people who don't like them, because, those are still, people who search them up, unfortunately. So when you do, like, let's say, for instance, we use Gary Brecka or Dana White, who was the guy in the video who works a lot with Gary Brecka. You could put hashtag Dana White, right? Somebody else is going to go search Dana White, hashtag Dana White, and they're going to your reel or post or whatever could pop up in their search. And now they're going to actually come see you, like what you posted, potentially hit that follow button, hit the like, give you boost in the algorithm. So @ is really about tagging them and making sure you get their attention. Hashtags are about capturing their followers' attention or the followers of a certain topic's attention. Make sense, y'all? Give me a thumbs up if you have any idea what I'm talking about, or if you think a hashtag is still a pound sign. My kids are like, oh, you mean a hashtag? I'm like, well, before it was a hashtag, it was a pound sign. Okay. It's kind of like the other day we got into a debate because they told me the original Willy Wonka, and I had to clarify, when did the original Willy Wonka come out? And so they searched it up, and lo and behold, it was not the OG Willy Wonka. Okay. It was like the second one.
So I'm going to look for this, but I sent my buddy Zach, who's an influencer, 6 or 7 days in a row, my trending where I was growing by 100, 200, 300%. And when I was doing duets, because it gives you instant credibility. And so we're going to go over this, but just so you guys know, and we'll go over posting schedule next week and different things that we're doing. Like literally you could do 1 to 3 reels a day on like on mindset. I could do my own mindset, pull it from one of my trainings. That's a reel. I could go hashtag mindset and go look for different mindset people like an Ed Milet, whoever that's got an awesome video, repurpose it. That's a reel. And that I could do one for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then at dinner, I could go do a duet. Those are 3 reels, but I really only did 1. Because you also have to have your face on social media. But the third one was my face also because I was doing the duet. And then you can do your static posts in the middle. And so if you come up with your posting schedule, like mine's Motivational Monday, leadership, Tuesday, social media, marketing, branding, Wednesday, shout out, Thursday, lifestyle. So you'll see more of the flashy cars, money, jets, or travel destinations. Friday, you'll see more about fitness, finance, and then the weekends I freestyle it. But every day you're going to see different reels based upon the topics with static posts. But you could literally do 3 reels a day. You're in one yourself. You're duetting the other one, and then you've got someone else. And all Facebook and social media wants to see is activity, engagement, and the more activity, the more engagement you give, the more you get, the more new followers you're going to get. And then you sprinkle in and mumble your offering, whatever it is you're offering. And now you got all these new faces. Like literally, I had over 11,000 people follow me after one video, 11,000 followers. People normally pay for that crap, right? And I got all of my followers are 100% organic, never bought. So I know we gave you guys a lot of information tonight, but next Wednesday, we're going to show you how to find and identify trending sounds. We're going to show you how to find the videos that you want to repurpose. And we'll show you how some of the apps work in person. And we'll show you from start to finish how to do some reels. Does that sound good? Drop a 2 if that sounds good to you guys. So the homework is you want to literally go and get your phone set up, get your desktop set up, get your apps, get your websites all uploaded, and get ready for next week. And we'll start it off with a posting schedule that makes sense for you. And I would highly encourage you guys to even use Google Calendar and say, okay, on Mondays, I'm posting about this topic. Tuesdays, this topic. Wednesday, this topic. Thursday, this topic. Friday, and so on. And you can even put reminders at breakfast, lunch, and dinner when you should be doing your posts. And then all your posts and all your reels, you can share to your stories. So you're going to have 1 to 5, 6, 7 stories a day. And then you'll be able to swipe up using your stories to start conversations. You're going to be able to take the likes, shares, comments of your reels and start conversations. But remember, the reels bring new eyeballs in. Your static posts, your stories, keep them entertained. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of everything that we're doing.
I love it all.
Did we answer all the questions?
Well, actually, there's some more in the Q&A. I was just learning from you, so I didn't actually answer the rest of them. Okay. Do you engage with people that become your followers as people who like and or share your content?
Yes.
Yep. You want to engage with them.
Yep.
I actually also engage a little bit with people who like it, because I'll say, for instance, when it comes to hashtags, I saw you were following the hashtag, hashtag Dana White, right? And so there's ways to engage with them even about the hashtags. What's a static post versus a reel? It's honestly in the name. A static post is a post that just stays still, whereas the reel are the videos that are moving, the series of images. So static post is just a picture that just kind of stays there.
I'm gonna drop a couple things real quick in the chat for you. Okay.
Yes.
So
Awesome.
you might want to pull this out real quick. So somebody asked me, do you interact with new followers or new friend requests? This is exactly what I say right here. Okay.
Perfect.
That is for new followers on Facebook or Instagram. All right. If I get real viewers, people have, view my reel. This is what I say. I start a conversation. Don't overthink this stuff. If I get a new friend request, this is literally what I say. I'm putting them in the chats. You better grab them. All right. If somebody likes my story, or views my story, this is what I say. Okay. If I see somebody on my feed, this is an original. You guys, if you follow me long enough, you've probably received one of these or I've trained you on it. All right. Anyone that likes my story, I don't know if I sent this, but I'll send it to you here just in case. Like these scripts, guys, brought me in over 700 personal customers and over 2,600 referrals. Anybody that likes my stuff, all I'm doing is thanking them, complimenting them, asking how they're doing so I can start a conversation. I mean, that's literally all we are doing. Is Headline an app? I don't know. I use it on a desktop.
Definitely want more examples of how to mumble. When will we get a list of all of the apps? You will get an email at some point in time tomorrow with
How about next 3 to 5 days?
There you go.
Because we are busy getting things done. All right. Stories and reels are different lengths. So what do you do I know I don't do more than 60 seconds, even if 60 seconds will fit in your stories.
And also if you share a reel to your story, it's only going to play as long as the story is, but people can click on it and actually go to the reel itself. DJ and I have different opinions on this one, Don.
What is that?
It's the apps that schedule your posts. He has got a good point. You really don't want to pre-schedule a post as much as you can because you do want to do pre and post engagement. As somebody who's got 5 kids and as many businesses, I do sometimes rely on scheduling simply because if I don't, it won't get done. So there is a time and a place, but ultimately DJ's way is the best way. And that's the only time you're ever going to hear me say those words.
Let me record that a minute. Can you repeat that real quick?
It's in the recording. It's in the recording.
That's good.
Okay.
So they both are great, guys. I know people that will pre-schedule stuff. Now, one thing you can do is you can create some type of document, get creative, and you can put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 7 days a week. You can put 3 times a day on each, like Monday, say 9, noon, and 5, whatever you're doing. And you can, on a Saturday or Sunday, go get all your repostings, get all your duets done, create your own content. And on a Saturday or Sunday, have 3 reels, 3 captions, 3 bodies, and your hashtags. And you can prep your entire week for the whole week of reels.
I love it. And honestly, if you do that, it will take so much pressure off of you, and the need to overthink, because we all do it, will go away. Because think about this, like if I sat down tomorrow, which is not going to happen, but if I sat down tomorrow and I planned out 2 weeks of social media content, and then next week, I planned out just a week. Like basically, think about it like this. You sit down every day and you put up social media content, right? If you sat down and planned out 2 weeks of social media content, and then the very next week, each day made a day's worth of content, you're always going to be like 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. So you're not in the moment of, oh man, I got to post something. What should I post? I don't know what to post. I got to hurry up and get this up. Never mind. I'm not going to post, right? Because you're not actually posting it. And Katrina said that in here. I have a board in Trello. I'm a fan of the Trello. I probably should have had that here, but not particularly about reels. But I actually have a schedule in Trello of my posts and my reels and my different things for each day. And I personally have a virtual assistant who will post those things for me. But I really like to schedule those out so that I'm not worried about it day to day. Another,
and if you're traveling for a week or two, instead of trying to, while you're on vacation, go scroll and look for the ones that are motivational, inspirational, recognition, all the things that we do, you could pre-plan on a Google Doc all of your reels for a week or 2. And while you're on vacation, literally just go download the reel, copy the caption, paste the body, the hashtags, and go on your day, right?
Yeah. And when I was working 50 hours a week, doing my master's degree, all that kind of stuff, originally growing my network marketing business to 6 figures, I actually had albums in my phone. So I did what DJ just said, and I had picture albums in my phone, and I had the text already ready to go. So when the time came to pop up on my lunch break, I would have everything already done, and it literally took me like 2 seconds. So that's definitely a bonus. One thing, I know that there is so much great content, and then DJ had to go and make that chat even better. So if you are like, I do not have chance to copy and paste all of those messages, I want you guys to know that in the chat panel area where you see the words to, and then it will say like hosts and panelists or host, all the way over to the right, there is a triple dot. When you click that triple dot at the very top of the little pop-up box, there is something that should say save chat. And that will save everything in that chat to a text file. Now, it doesn't mean you have to weed through everybody else's comments, but if you want to have DJ's words in a text file, then you can do that. I highly recommend it.
Awesome. So I know we went about 17 minutes longer than scheduled, guys, but there's a lot of information. Mark your calendars. The same link that you are in right now will be next Wednesday at the exact same time. And we are going to show you how to do everything we just talked about. So between now and next Wednesday, the only homework is get all these apps dialed in, get prepared, save everything where you need to. So that way you're not overwhelmed. You got 7 days to do it. All right. So get familiar and get fascinated. And anything else you got, Corinne? Other than that, I'm good to go.
Nope. Just, we love you guys. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on this topic a week from tonight. Okay. Take care, guys.